ISWM Building Committee. We'll do a quick attendance. Greg,
Yes.
Tom?
Yep.
I don't see Catherine. Catherine's not out there. Ken?
Present.
Peter? I don't see Peter out there. Nolan?
Yes.
And I am present. So now we can get to the minutes. Any comments?
Do we have a quorum, Asa?
We do.
Okay.
We do. We've got 5.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the 26th. Is that what they were?
I have one comment on both of them. It's kind of funny, but on the what are we looking at here? We're looking at the August 26th. Yeah, the August 26th minutes. On the second page, it says Marlene piped up.
I guess I shouldn't have supported it.
Hey, it's Marlene, and I want to follow that statement by just saying,
That should be.
Tom, I appreciate you doing the minutes.
I hadn't even thought of that until you said that.
So I think that's the only correction. Other than that, I think.
I'm surprised she didn't say anything about that.
Yeah, that's funny. She probably.
My last name is missing an I.
Oh, okay. I'll note
Really
that.
important correction to make.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, on the September 2nd. Yep. Yep, I got it. Hi, Catherine. Yep, she's frozen. You there?
All right, but in person, I am, yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. I will note you're here.
Okay,
Do you have any
thank you.
comments on the minutes from
I do
the
not.
26th of the 2nd? Okay. Okay. Make a motion to approve as amended?
So moved.
Second,
To Greg, motion, Catherine second. Greg,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Catherine,
yes,
Ken,
Yes.
Peter is still not here, Nolan,
Yes.
and I am a yes. All right, we're still missing Greg Yanchenko. All right, I'll just give you guys an update on what, well, first project invoices.
Do you want to do the September 2nd? We doing them separately?
Oh, okay, I kind of figured we'd do them as
Oh, okay,
one.
all right.
Is everybody all right doing them as one? Is there any problem with that?
Sure.
All right, so we will note that the motion was to approve both as one. So project invoices, I haven't gotten anything from Neil to sort of round out construction monitoring services invoices yet, so I'm still waiting for something on that. I would kind of recommend that we probably get something from Greg at this point, where we've reached sort of a milestone, and we're gonna kind of just put a little bit of a pause here. Might make sense to get an invoice from him at this point as well.
Yeah, I think, I know he hasn't even built yet, has he? Did we?
We've gotten one invoice from him for $165,000,
Right.
and that was part of schematic design. So,
My recommendation is we let him bill, and then we make a determination whether what he's billing represents because he had like design development, whether what he submitted is full design development or not.
okay. All right,
It was 104 pages, so there's a lot of
yeah, it's a substantial set,
Information
yeah.
design development. You usually kind of start building the set and putting, the big picture on it, less smaller details.
Yeah, it felt pretty far along to me. I mean, I got through probably about half of them, but, so it looked pretty good. Obviously we'll over the next month or something, and, you know, take a look at it, and if anybody has any questions, just put them out there in an email, and we can put them on an agenda item. So that's where we are with invoices at this point. I hope to see something from CMS sooner than later, and then, like I said, when Greg gets here, we'll, I haven't heard anything from him either. We'll request an invoice from him. So, as you know, we put out a request for qualifications for a new OPM, and you saw the timelines on that. Due on the 26th. And then we have a meeting scheduled on the 29th, and hopefully do interviews at the end of that week if possible. So let me know if anything comes up that, you know, doesn't work for you guys. But that's the tentative schedule right now. Hopefully, where we've sort of been through this process once and not too long ago, maybe we can move through it pretty quickly. I feel like maybe a little quicker than last time, so.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see who we get, if we get any.
It is gonna be interesting.
Repeat, obviously, I presume Weston and Sampson will put in.
Sure. I'm sure we'll see some of the previous applicants. As far as our operations go, we've been working diligently to put material in place to get the site up to subgrade elevation. Round numbers, we've put about 30,000 yards in place, compacted, tested by Geotechnical Consultants, Inc. We have about 10,000 yards to go. We're now taking up the old road in the residential area, getting ready to install the water line later this week. Septic system for the temporary trailers next week. And then we'll continue on with finishing up that remaining 10,000 yards of material at the site. So we're moving along. I think we're in pretty good shape. I hate to say it, but we're actually kind of a little bit ahead of the game in terms of site prep, you know. Don't dare jinx myself, but so the next major milestone for us is our just getting our temporary trailers in place. That'll be important. So
When are those coming?
those are coming the week of October 6th. So not far off, a few weeks out. So. I don't know. We don't have a designer here right now, so I'm not sure what
Do you
to.
think he was supposed to participate?
Yeah, I told him to be here in person.
Where's he coming from? Because Sagamore Bridge is all messed up, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they had it down to one lane.
Yeah, he would be coming down. Oh, there's Mike. Hey,
How's it going?
From down 495.
is Greg coming down?
He's,
He's on his way.
he's on his way.
Okay, all right. I thought maybe I didn't include him in the last email or something like that. Maybe
Oh, no.
maybe I forgot something.
Yeah, no, we got sidetracked. We have a job in Wareham.
Oh,
That's in
okay.
Construction, so
All
we
right.
just sidetracked there for a minute.
All right. Well, we've gotten through a few of the items. I'll wait for Greg, and he can give us an update on where he is. You guys did a nice job on those drawings. Pretty far along with those. They look good.
Yeah, I mean, we try to get it.
Didn't get through all of them, but.
You know, close to, 75% as we can with everything.
Yeah.
One of the big things left is just figuring out how we're gonna get the mechanical systems to work.
Getting the what?
Mechanical systems to work.
Yeah.
So they're filtered and,
Yeah, gotcha.
Ease of maintenance
Yeah.
on that would be huge, like, just go to this one area and go, wait, yeah, put in the new filter.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, Asa, how you doing today?
Good. So we have gotten through the minutes,
Okay.
and I just gave everybody an update, kind of a site update. You know, we've been diligently working to bring the site to subgrade,
Right.
and it's going pretty well. So I guess you're up next. Did you
I'm
just-
up next, okay. Just pull that agenda out, make sure I get all the points. You want me here or back?
There's fine.
So I guess you want me to start on the items number 2, new business and everything, or where would you like me to?
I've gone through, so I guess we can go back to project invoices. We were just discussing, we'd like to see an invoice, you know, this is sort of a milestone.
Yes.
You know, you've hit that date.
Yeah, we'll get that at
Thank
the
you.
end of the month.
And, yeah, if you could get that out to us,
Sure.
that would be great.
Okay.
Qualification, you know, you saw the timeline for qualifications.
Correct.
September 26th,
Mhm.
qualifications come in, 29th, we have a meeting, and we'll go through the designer, or the OPM selection process at that.
If you need any assistance on that, I'll be happy
Yeah.
to
Yep.
reach out to you.
And then just a quick you know, the operations update, we're moving along, we're on schedule, so we're on number 3D.
Okay, so you all should have received the package last week that we submitted, and you should have gotten your hard copy as well.
I did, thank you.
Great, okay. So that is, you know, where we're at, and we're basically on hold now, based on what you had sent me earlier. As far as the independent study goes, we did send that out the same day that the DD submission went out. I was on the phone today with John Kenny, which is C2E, the estimator that you had forwarded that gotten the proposal on. They are now looking to get us the estimate on October 7th. So, and if it comes in sooner, obviously we will forward that to you.
Okay.
But that is the date that we have been given on that. As far as the Mass DOT, crossing, so as you know, they should have been out there today starting the survey.
They were, I saw them, I was actually heading to Falmouth, I saw them going down and then back, they were still
Okay.
there working.
Okay, so they're supposed to be done with that by the 26th, they said, and that would be the goal. I know Kirsten had been reaching out to both DOT and NGrid to coordinate the meeting, and ASA's seen probably 6 or so emails about we were having some challenges getting Mass DOT to respond. They did finally respond. I guess that was Friday that I sent you that, or was it Monday? I forget. Could have been yesterday.
Yesterday.
Okay,
It was
yes,
yesterday.
so the good news is, we actually have a contact now at Mass DOT, because originally I'd asked Asa if he could have Marlene reach out to see if she could get that meeting set up. And one of the concerns that Mass DOT always has, it's not a real project to them yet, because they don't have any applications or anything, but they've agreed to coordinate that meeting. So Kirsten is trying to coordinate the exact date that we will have that meeting to go over the scope and everything. So that looks like that is promising at this point in time. As far as the general and subcontractor pre-qualifications, because of the delay with the OPM, or bringing the new OPM on, we did issue an addenda that has postponed the pre-qualifications by 30 days. So should be very close, and if we have to postpone again, we can postpone it.
Yeah, what is 30 days put us at?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't know, can you check that? Mike will check in a minute, so we can get you that day. Then as soon as obviously the survey is done, I know Kirsten will start putting the application together so that we can have that discussion with DOT and National Grid.
So they were due on the 11th, it looks like here, I think. So,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's
So we'll probably have to postpone them again.
we'll probably have to
For-
postpone
yeah,
it
yeah,
again,
yeah,
yes.
okay.
So. And that is essentially the update on everything.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any comments, questions, concerns?
Was there anything in the DD set that you need input from? I haven't had a chance to go through them. I know ASA started.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody else has.
No, I mean, again, it's a DD set, and you've done plenty of them, Craig.
Yeah.
It's, you're never as far along as you'd like to be, and I always feel more comfortable when we're 100% done, because then you're actually seeing. But I don't think there's any gaping holes or anything that you would expect at the DD. I know one of the things that Chris Robinson, who is our mechanical engineer, is we are still in the process of coordinating some of the equipment and everything, and that's really more because of the special requirements that all this equipment, which would typically be rooftop, is now interior to the building. So I know that Mike and Chris and the rest of the team have been coordinating the louver sizes and the actual equipment. I don't know if any of that's been finalized yet, Mike. Are we still kind of in the process?
No, we're still in the process.
Yeah, so-
Sorry, it's October 16th.
October 16th,
16th,
yeah.
okay.
So from that perspective, you know, we would love to keep working and moving it along and pull that together, but I don't think there's anything glaring on it. I know, Phil, you might notice on the electrical site plan, I don't think they got all the conduit runs and everything that we had talked about, but we do have the sketch, so we're fully cognizant of that. And that was that working session we had with the IT group and everything.
And we got some stuff coming from Flynn, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the two things that pop into my mind that we need to get to you are camera mounts, right? Because that's how we were gonna leave it for us to take over in terms of installing cameras, was, you know, wired and then a mount for us to install, you know, cameras independently, you know, once the contractor is completed. So camera mounts was one, and then the bird system
Right.
locations.
We met with Flynn, I was out last week, but we did meet with them, and
Okay.
they were out the previous week, so they're working on it and clarified exactly.
Do they need any drawings or anything from us yet?
We need to touch base, I haven't seen go through my 200 emails, I haven't seen anything, have you seen anything from them?
I haven't, no.
Okay,
No.
so I'll follow up with them tomorrow, see where we are, to make it really clear, but I think there was we got the concept now, what we're trying to do, but on the lower level, with the offices, I want that to look nicer, you know, more finished look, and more, you know, don't worry about the back so much, maybe we galvanize, but
I don't know, were you guys involved in the discussion of this? I don't know if you were or not, the bird wiring systems that we put on our roofs?
No.
So we have Flynn Pest Control, and they do sort of a retrofit. They do two threaded rods through the wall, and then, you know, inch and a half galvanized pipe straight up, and they wire the roofs so the birds don't land on the roofs, you know, and I forget, how big are the squares that they make? 3 foot, something like that, yeah?
really good quality with barrels, stainless wire, they last for
Yeah.
20 years, and highly effective.
They're good systems, but the way they put them up, it's almost like a little bit of a retrofit, so we're trying to sort of come up with something that is
Yeah, it's mounting
It's an
to,
engineered
the
system.
roof,
mounted to the wall.
mounts to
It
the
comes
wall.
out and up.
But the problem is we have the overhangs on the building. So one of the things that we may want to consider, Asa, and this is the discussion we can have with Flynn, is not that I'm overly concerned about snow guards on your building, but we could put snow rails on your building.
We have
The snow rail, but I'm wondering if we can mount the wiring off of the snow rails. Because the snow rails basically get mounted all the way across the roof.
So
So
you're
you,
gonna have some system on the.
we
edge?
will have edges of
Could
snow.
you send that information to us?
Sure.
Because that may impact what they
Right.
decide to do. One thing we were very clear with, there will be no penetrations on the roof. And the good news is that Flynn has assured us that the spans over the two, garage area are short enough that they don't need to have a stand in the middle of the roof where they put any of their stanchions
Right.
through the roof. So we're coming out the side of the building and up and around, so there'll be no.
Well, you keep saying coming out of the side. What I'm saying is you're actually going to have an overhang.
I saw
So-
that,
So
yeah.
that's why I'm saying if we go with the snow rails, that could eliminate coming off the side of the building where you just have a continuous rail across that then they could connect to. And then on a roof this size, typically you would have multiple layers of snow guard rails.
We have
So
two.
we have 2 on this one, but if we had to put in a third one or something to accommodate that, because I just don't know how they're going to get that through those panels and everything and mount them.
Well, Hence, we want to talk about it now, so that, you know, we were gonna go on the end points of each side of the garage, and then where the elevation change, there's another
Mhm.
blank wall, and then we go, you know.
Right.
So, I know it gets a little trickier in the geometry, in the front with the dormer and all that, we were talking about that, overhang with Flynn. But if you send the snow rail,
Mhm.
any information on strength, bearing strength, you know,
Mhm.
engineering
Right.
specs on, because these systems, you know, they're gonna be tension, and they're gonna be pulling, and so those may not be designed to have.
Why couldn't we just do an L bracket off of the,
Yeah.
to pass the eave and then go straight up past the?
Well, because right now we have metal panels, okay? And basically what you have is you have a steel sheet, insulation, and another steel sheet. So unless you through bolt and put, you know, backing rods all on the interior and stuff, I mean, it's,
That's what we were thinking.
You might have to do something like that. And that's
we were
what,
thinking.
okay, but what I guess I'm getting at is because we have a conventional roof system, okay, which is gonna have the decks and everything on, there may be other alternatives to it. So we should have the meeting,
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
and have a discussion so that at least we can see what they're looking for as opposed to what we think could work. Because it could be something as simple as just putting an additional piece of steel in the
yeah,
roof.
they're just
Probably-
gonna give us locations.
You're probably gonna need something in the wall anyways. Chances are you may not hit the steel.
No, but I'm saying because we're not using the metal panels on the roof, we're doing a standing seam. But that is gonna be a conventional deck and steel decking and everything. So there's a lot of things that we could do in that case where, you know, if we had to run an extra row of blocking or something down there to get those in and work with different details. And I know that they do have some of the, and again, we're not thrilled about putting holes through the roof or something, but depending, you could either clip off of the standing seam or even
Yeah,
if you.
we talked about that, Mike, ruled that out, because the forces in the entire length of that garage, each level will be pulling inward on a pole that is 4 to 6 feet tall. You know, it just, that would actually work those seams, I guarantee. So Flynn does this, they've really, they saw some of the things that you were concerned about, and we will get together with you on it,
Mhm.
to address all these.
Flynn's gonna give us locations that
Right.
they think, and then
We'll
we'll
Right.
figure out
Yes.
how we supply that.
It's really gonna
vertical
change the
stanchion.
look of the building though, right? Because
Well,
you're gonna have the stuff on the, not
The
sticking up.
spans are pretty big. It's not like they have one every 10 feet. You know, their spans were like over 100 feet, I think, you know,
It
something
is,
like that.
right. I mean, if you look at, you know, we can make it blend in, and the wire is stainless and it looks nice, and it's gonna be over the garage. That's why I said earlier, over the office, where it's highly visible, we need to pay special attention to making it aesthetically pleasing the best we can. But the last thing I think we wanna do is create a nice landing pad for birds that will eventually be literally 50 yards from the office building, coming and landing all over the roof and destroying it. Too, right? So you know, we are at a landfill, so people would understand it's a, you know, it's a working site, so.
We have this system, Greg, up on 2 or 3 buildings around us.
Yes.
Our neighbors, we've gone out and done it for them. And part of the trick to these things is, believe it or not, is the seagulls can't see them. So part of it is it's background, it's hidden so that you can't see it. So to your point, we don't want to create some distractive orange pipes or something.
No, it's very high
But
quality.
then the seagulls could see them.
Yeah.
Correct. But there could actually be landing lights for them.
Exactly. Well, I'm thinking if we could light them up at night, they
Yeah.
won't know when to come in at dusk and stuff.
We're gonna have a steel roof, why don't we just elect?
I think it'll blend in pretty well. We could look at colors and such, but where you would see something odd if you walk up, but if you have snow rails, it may kind of blend into that, is right around the first floor on the offices coming down the walkway. So we have some work to do, but we didn't want to have a situation where we build the building, and then we have Flint come in and start drilling through sides of roofs and walls and after the fact, and then ripping siding out because they didn't know where to connect it. You know, we want to engineer it properly ahead of time.
So we will get you those locations and then we can,
That's fine.
How does the
we can,
snow
and we can beat each other up.
They clip onto the standing seams.
Through the chair, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What,
And that's the concern I have, is that anything that's related to the standing seam roof, that then we would attach to that, the torque and the
But again,
forces.
again, I think the conversation should be with Flynn, because we could come in and put like an L bracket before they put the standing seam and fold it in, so that when there's actually a clipped L bracket underneath the standing seam, that they're bolting through that and not bolting through the standing seam alone.
Okay.
There's 1,001 ways to do it. We just have to sit down and
You get
talk
the
with Flynn.
concept.
Yes, I get the
Perfect.
concept. So,
Couple things for Peter Glick.
Yes.
That I've just noticed, and I always gravitate towards the civil end of the.
Can't
job,
understand
you know,
why.
It's just, you know. I still don't see a sewer line over to the guard shack for
Okay.
future expansion. And then the other one was, we need to include some kind of electrical. We talked about going up to the pump house. I think we were talking about backup generator, but it needs to be connected regardless, because we need to supply power up there anyways. So,
That was a load question. At some point,
So-
Dan's pointed out, you don't want to put all your eggs in one big generator at the office. Maybe you have one backup for that area and then a smaller
Yeah.
one and a bigger one for the, I don't know. But it'd be nice to have the transfer station and the pump station on standby gas supply backup, because all the alarms start tripping off and the wire, and, so. you wanna
no, I
make sure-
understand that, but I guess it's, so, because we'll probably need like, that's probably, was 300 kV for the building alone.
Yeah.
Okay, then the question is if I'm putting the transfer station, the pump house, which I don't know what's gonna add to that.
Yeah.
But remember, we do not wanna go over 1,000.
Right, that's why.
So that's why
Maybe
Dan was
split.
saying we might have 2 generators
well,
to.
let's put it on as a bullet
Sure.
item, and we'll figure out. I mean, the pump house is like heat, lights, and fire alarm.
That's it.
And then the transfer station is lights and fire alarm, you know, so it's
Well,
really not.
heat too.
But when you
We
say.
have-
the
Oh, and-
pump
yeah, the
house,
mechanical
You're
ones, right.
talking about the fire system
It's
pump
the
house.
main,
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so then the question comes up is, I don't know what type of pumps are in there without going in there, and, you know.
I
you have a
I will
50
get that.
horse
We will get
pump
all the
and-
specs.
Yeah,
can
all
get
of a
that
sudden
for you.
you could be,
It's low draw stuff.
Yeah.
There's a 6 amp jockey pump, you know,
They're
like
diesel.
horse and a half, so.
just so you know, it's not an electric pump, it's a diesel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Its engine on its own fuel source for running the physical water pump. Jockey pumps, I think, are electric, but the big
They're
pump,
really
one
low-
that's 170
low draw.
PSI, or, yeah, it's diesel.
okay?
And I think what I should do is just get you I'll get you some drawings of where that stuff is located, some of the electrical conduits and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, and then really it's just heating, alarms,
Lights.
and lights for the utility room and the transfer station, and then the pump station. Basically, that's it. There is, compressor may kick in the transfer station to keep the air supply
Yeah,
in the dry
air-
system.
air dry.
So we'll have all those specs for you. But it's not a huge draw, it's not like, looking at amps is the big concern, it's like that first draws down.
So the seagulls won't be able to land at that point when it kicks on and go, ooh, and then it'll come back up. So we just have to you have to warn the seagulls when it kicks on so that they'll have to circle one more time, yeah, okay.
I think that was it. Anybody have anything else? Tom?
No, if you like my comment about,
Nothing?
if you like my comment about Marlene last week, wait till you hear what I say about this stuff.
That was funny.
So Ace, the question I would ask you or the committee, now with the OPM, I understand that there's we've lost about a month and a half or 2 months, let's call it for the sake of discussion. I know originally we were talking about trying to get out sometime in November after town meeting, if it was approved. Now with this delay, we're going to probably be closer to December, I mean, late December. I would suggest that we wait till the first or second week in January to go, because if we release the thing around Thanksgiving, Christmas, no one's going to touch it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it were a small job, yes, but everybody, and then they're going to all ask for an extension anyways. So if you release the package, say, this second week in January, then you're going to need 5 to 6 weeks. So that puts us out in, mid-February stuff. Not overly concerned yet, because you can still get the contract out so that you could start in March. However, I guess the question comes up is, how does this fit in with the transfer station? And would they go concurrent, or would you let the one project go and let the other one catch up, or are you gonna make both of them be released at the same time?
So that's the one thing I think as a committee we need to discuss. We need to discuss with Marlene and whoever our new OPM is. That's my first question for them is, does it make sense to put all this out as, as one, and one contract? Is there a financial benefit there? I'm sure there's benefit to simplicity of managing the contract, right? And now that we've built our temporary offices, the transfer station's a critical path, not so much the office and maintenance garage. So,
So again, I guess it goes back to the issue of, okay, obviously you have the deadline on the landfill, which is the driving
yeah,
force,
right.
which I think you have, 3 years left on that, pretty much?
29 is when we need to
Okay.
be in our new cell. And there's a year of, call it a year of liner construction prior to that.
So you have to be done in 28. So I guess the question is bringing on the transfer.
We gotta be done in 27 because I need to dig out underneath the transfer station in 28.
You've got exhausted these, and
Okay.
our schedule is to have the transfer station operational summer of 2027.
Okay, so I guess what I'm getting at is, then you don't have any more calendar left. Because if we bid the job in January, okay, that would mean that you start in March, it's gonna be a minimum of a year. You throw the transfer station on, you're probably adding another 3 to 6 months on that. So I
How do you
guess.
make the transfer station the priority?
Yeah.
Huh?
Make the transfer station the priority while you're building, while you're building it. Put a deadline.
No,
on
no,
it.
so here's what I guess, and again, Ace, I don't know if this is the right form, but we've had this,
Yeah.
you and I talked briefly, the discussion, okay? Obviously, the office building and maintenance facility, those drawings can be done by January with no problem, okay? The question comes up is, how long will the transfer station drawings take to be complete? And how do you integrate that? I do think there's a strategy that it could be done on or about January. So maybe the whole package goes out to bid in February. And, there is a strategy for doing that, and there's obviously some economies of scales, but it's a different strategy than maybe just going traditionally how you're thinking. So that's why I'm saying, that's
Well,
your decision.
I think it's wise, and I'll, like to hear everybody else's thoughts on it. So let's just get the new OPM on board, and then we'll make a plan at that point, once we have everybody,
Okay.
everybody on the team back together, so,
The transfer station's not that complicated.
yeah, it's
Right.
big, but it's not.
Yeah,
yeah.
but again, so if you bring the OPM on, let's say by the end of October,
The latest, yeah.
then immediately, day one, you tell the OPM, now you're advertising for the transfer architect. Minimum 2 to 3 weeks on that. So now you're at the end of November. And that's if everything's moving smoothly, perfect timing, okay? You sign the contract and everything December 1st, okay? Now the question is depending on how you attack the strategy, and again, Ace and I had a brief conversation on it, you're probably looking at least 3 months to get the design on the transfer station, because it will have to be permitted and everything as well. Okay. So that would put you in December, January, February, best case scenario, assuming everything else is going. And it's doable. It is definitely doable.
That's still fine.
Yeah, it's just a matter, but there is going to have to be kind of an aggressive
Yeah.
approach with both the OPM, the town and everybody to say, yes, this is the strategy we want to use. So,
Yep. No, that's, everybody's aware of that.
Okay.
The staff and,
But it has
town hall
flipped.
is very aware of that, so.
It has flipped, the priorities have,
Yeah,
the
absolutely,
critical
yeah.
path is completely flipped.
but at that point, I don't think it matters. Because if you're releasing the package at the same time, yes, you can tell them at the transfer station, but, you're gonna have a large enough, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna build the foundations for the transfer station, then they're gonna roll over to the building, or really what they're gonna do is they're gonna have crews big enough, they're gonna start the foundations on both buildings, they're gonna place they're gonna be running everything simultaneous. This is not, that complex a project that you can't.
Maybe the advantage we're looking for is pricing and mobilization and steel and.
Right. So it is doable, so I don't know if it really matters, it just extends the construction period, say, from 12 months to maybe 15 to 18 months.
Which is all right. I mean, that's, if,
Well, that puts you at the end of,
no,
27.
it's tight, there's no doubt about it, but
This is where the judgment call comes in, is that now they're mobilized. If there's a way to prioritize other work, say you got the foundations in, but you gotta build the superstructure for the transfer station first, because that needs to be up and running in the summer of '27, you know,
Yeah.
then the office would come in the fall. In other words,
Mhm.
you know, so this is where the.
even,
synergies-
even if we were, just say we were to give the contractor the go after July 1st, right? They got 12 months to build the transfer station, right? So 12 months to build the transfer station should be fine, right?
should be. But then again, see, this is all where it goes back to.
But, you know.
But I mean, but understand, there's got to be, and what we've talked about is, and again, these details can be worked out, because nothing is finalized,
Yeah.
okay? But depending on where the power is coming from the transfer station, you can set your own electric room and everything in that building, or is it being backfed? Are you getting some of the infrastructure out of the new office building and stuff? So, because we had talked about like, some of the cameras and access control, which is not a major thing. I mean, that can be a temporary setup or something. But I'm just saying, it's all very doable. I think it's just a matter of, what should happen is we should have a working session with the OPM, the designer, and basically it's just like,
Yeah.
this is what you're doing,
Yeah.
this is what everybody's signing up with, and it's just done that way and move it along. Because there are some duplication of efforts that don't need to be done, and there's other things that should be streamlined and focused on, so. So it is doable, I'm just saying it's,
Yeah.
you don't have
No,
any more
I
window. You have
agree.
no more window to burn on this one.
Welcome to the landfill business, my friend.
Yeah.
Every time we build a liner, every time.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
So you're getting the feel of it now.
right.
and again, Dan, you're not surprising me, because we just released the bid set for Rentham,
Yeah.
and the town was kind of like stunned, like, what do you mean it went out to bid? I said, yes, we all agreed that it was going to go out on September 3rd.
I didn't know it went out to bid.
No, they knew it went out to bid, they just didn't think we were going to make it.
Oh.
They said, it's not possible that you're going to, and everybody can say, no, you have to be done if you need it, because they have to hit a town meeting. So fortunately, it's a twofer this year. With you guys, I found out Rentham, they don't have to get a debt override. They have,
When do their bids come in, so we?
they are coming in on, what was it, October 22nd, I think?
Yeah.
Or thereabouts?
The second is the file subbids.
Yes. So, because they have to have the number for town meeting on November 3rd. So I think we have to get it to them on the 20th. But the good news is, they don't have to, they have money in hand.
Yeah.
So all they need to do is approve the expenditures of the money, so there will be no debt impact.
Nice.
Kind of like your boards.
Yeah,
Well,
kind of.
We do have a detailed Gantt chart on Microsoft project that at that meeting you just described with the new OPM, we could then lay that out.
I
all of it.
agree with you 100%. We need to sit down and, with, you know, when the new OPM comes on board, we need to sit down and just figure this out. You know, we've got a pretty good idea about it, but,
Yeah.
you know, construction timelines and things like that, you know.
But I guess what I'm saying, though, as soon as you get your OPM, tell them to turn around and advertise for the designer on the
Oh, yeah.
transfer station.
Oh, yeah, no, we're
It
not.
even before he knows what the project name is, he should go out, because you want to get that in the,
OPM doing that?
The OPM does that.
Yeah.
Does the designer? Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we kind of worked, and the last time we did it, we kind of.
The reason is because in the OPM, while you're waiting for the designer's package, you can spend those 2 to 3 weeks getting up to speed on it. But you just want to release that immediately, because then that's the critical meeting. As soon as you sign that contract with the other designer, or whoever it is, then you're going to sit down and have that, you know, and if it's a 3-day working session, it's a 3-day working session,
Yeah.
you know.
And we're, of course, intermingled in all that is our site assignment process to actually go through the group process with DEP and Board of Health. to
Right.
Actually permit the construction, so, yeah.
Don't
that's
don't
all
muddy the
I've got
waters,
to
Phil, don't muddy the waters.
It's gonna be busy 2026, our heads are exploding already. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess I'm not worried
Play
about
with
it
the
yet,
schedule
but you
too
guys
before you
seem
hire the
more and more
OPM. They're
concerned
gonna
about
be
the
aware of
line.
that.
Oh, they know it, yeah.
Forgive
I'm
me.
confident.
Word.
And if they don't know it, they're gonna know it.
If we don't get this built in time with your contractual
Get the
obligations.
utilities moving and.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, that's what I'm saying, Dan, we'll get it built for you.
Yeah.
You know, so,
But this process we just went through, I think we're all in agreement, getting it sorted now, so we have the right team in place with the committee's expanded scope, the OPM is gonna help us, so it's gonna pay dividends when we get rolling, because it's gonna be
Yeah.
much more, efficiency, I think.
You're right, that's the thing. things, when you get all those people together, the OPMs, the designers, all sitting down at a table, you might find out, that, like you already said, you might see things shake out that you didn't think about that are gonna streamline and make this quicker. Because the faster they get done, the more money they make.
What
As
you need to
long
hear,
as there's good quality.
and what you need to hear from us is, when do you need the building open? You know, physically open,
Right.
so you can tear down the old one, and here's our drop dead date, and then you back everything up from there, so. That's what we've been playing with the last year.
Anybody from the committee? Any comments, concerns? Nolan,
No, just
Tom,
You guys are doing a good job.
Greg.
No, I'm in agreement. Let's get everybody on board, because there's a lot of thought process, but
There's a
also
lot
a
of
lot of
pieces.
questions.
Yeah, right.
the OPM's gonna be aware of the schedule and
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I will say about the OPM, and just keep in mind, okay, one of the popular things is always do CM at risk, or the CM process, 149A. But the problem with that is you need to go to the IG's office to get approval to do it, which could take up to 60 days. Okay, so don't be surprised if you hear, first thing is, oh, in order to expedite this, do it as a CM.
Yeah.
And,
What does that mean?
okay, that means they bring on a construction manager, okay? The construction
Design build.
manager manages all the subcontracts and everything.
For
which-
the OPM?
No, for the construction. And then what they can do is they can release early packages. So as soon as the foundations are done, they can release that package, bid it, start building the foundations, and they can do the steel and everything else. They do schools and stuff like that. I don't think you're in that situation. And I would definitely shy away from, if they come in and say, let's do a CM at risk, you say, what advantage am I going to get out of that? Because I think just a straight design bid build is probably the best solution for this, even if you say the priority is the transfer station, because then that puts you in a position where let the contractor come back and you say, here's my priority, this is the infrastructure, and we can flag those things for the contractor. Then it's means and methods and let them work it out, as opposed to, again, I've done CM at risk before, it is a successful process, it's not necessarily cheaper, and it sometimes burdens the process as opposed to just drop dead dates of like, here's the bid date, here's the contract, you're gonna be done in 15 months, congratulations, Dan, figure it out. You know, that's what they'll say, you know, so. So anyway, that's just one thing I just wanted to share with you on the OPM.
Catherine, any thoughts?
Nope, I agree. Nope, I'm on board. Thank you.
Ken?
Oh, I just want to make sure the transfer station's done by the time we run that railroad.
Definitely.
In all seriousness, I mean, there's no indication right now that, that DOT is gonna be pulling the F2 track, but obviously we're still working on it, and in all seriousness, you know, it's my assumption that if we end up, putting a new track in the design of the bridge project, you know, it won't necessarily be up to Bourne, but it would make the most logical sense to run that track to the new transfer station you're building, rather than the old transfer station in JVCC. So I just think we keep that in mind as we go forward with design.
Yep, we have, you know, included that as one of our, you know, criteria, but we are gonna definitely look at it a little bit further as we, you know, get into the detailed design of the transfer station for
The
sure.
orientation's already
Yeah,
canted a little bit to be able to receive
yeah,
the train coming around the corner.
so.
But it's a bullet train we're putting in.
Right. Not with C and D.
Right through the back door.
But yeah,
We're
that-
shooting for both.
definitely,
That's all I have.
definitely on the radar.
All right, well, so next meeting, the 29th. Anybody has any concerns with that? Please let me know. In the meantime, what, we got a couple
Zoom,
weeks?
what are you thinking?
What's that?
Thinking in person and Zoom, or?
I think we'll do the same, do the hybrid option,
Is that 9/29 or 10/29?
9/29.
Okay.
I'll be traveling, so I should be able to get on Zoom if I have cell service.
I might have
I
a
don't think you need to
conflict.
be at that one, Greg.
Okay,
That one's, I think, just mostly gonna be going over, just reviewing our OPM packages, so.
okay.
Well, sorry, did I cut you off? What'd you say?
Yeah, I might have a conflict, but I hopefully should at least be able to get on Zoom.
3:30.
3:30. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Greg. Tom,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Nolan,
Yes.
I vote yes. Thank you, everybody.